Hello, my name is Myra, and I would like to welcome you to the first episode of The Myra Chavez Show. Today, I have an entrepreneur who has owned her clothing boutique for 13 and a half years. She's here to talk to us all about her struggles having to do with her success and her blessings in disguise. Welcome, Evie Oliwali, to the show.
Thank you so much for having me, Myra.
Of
It's
course.
it's my pleasure to be here and to host one of the first episodes in my store space while we are still in brick and mortar.
Yes,
Where we have
yes,
some
we are.
changes coming up, so it's a nice treat to be able to use this space for this interview today.
And this is so special just because it's, Black History Month, so it means, I think, much more. And tell me a little bit about yourself. Tell me where you were born, how you grew up, and what actually led to the entrepreneur path to owning this place.
So I was born in Nigeria, came to the U.S. by way of the U.K. first, but
Yeah.
landed here, right here in Willow Glen
Hmm.
in '95, and have always lived in California, never left. Um, it's kind of always been my dream to work in fashion. I didn't know I would end up being a retailer, but I've always loved clothes. I mean, from having my mom remake the Barbie dresses because it wasn't like the right look that I was going for, on my
Yes.
dolls, to helping my friends design all of their prom dresses, my closest friends in high school. So I know, I don't think I ever actually mentioned that.
No,
Yeah.
you helped them
I
design
found
it?
some old photos and I was like, that's right. Yeah, we went to the fabric store, Berryessa Fabric, and
Yes.
got all the fixins to put together some of their prom
You
dresses.
designed it, you helped sew it,
Mhm.
everything.
I didn't sew it. I was just not skilled enough back then, but I put together the sketches and worked with them on fitting, and then we went to prom and had a great
Another
time.
Michael Costello in the making here. Nice. All right. And how was your school? You went to Santa Clara University?
Yeah, I studied business there, but again, I kind of always knew that I would end up in fashion. FITM wasn't in the cards for me necessarily. I wanted to go there, but my very, very strict Nigerian parents, to them, there it was, you can do that after. You
Yes.
just go to business school, and then once that's finished, then explore. They were actually very surprisingly supportive of the decision to work in fashion because, I mean, over there, it's just seen as something that you can't really rely on. My mom was like, "Oh, why don't you just, you can have your little store, but
Yeah.
will you still go to continue schooling and et cetera?" But I think at some point when they saw my passion for it and that it actually, luckily, thankfully, did well within the first couple of years, they were finally settled on, okay, we'll let her choose her own
But
career
I
path.
mean, they at least made sure that you went to school because
Exactly.
education was
Oh,
really
yeah,
important to
there
you.
was no like compromise there. Yeah.
And what was your degree at Santa
It
Clara?
was I went to business school, so it was marketing and finance, and that was in 2007, I believe. I finished up Santa Clara University.
Okay, so you already answered the why you wanted a boutique. Obviously, always been into clothes, always been in fashion. Um, and now, how did you start? How did you pick the name, the logo, the feel of the store?
Um, the name, so it's a play off my first name. The store didn't have a name for the first couple of months, and my customers were my friends, so they'd be like,
Yeah.
"Let's go to EB store. Let's go to EB store." Eventually, they just dropped the store part, and it was
Yeah.
just like EBs,
Yes.
EBs, and the extra S. It was such an accidental naming process, and it just kind of stuck as I changed the pronunciation to Ibis, like Ibis the bird.
Yes.
I just felt like that branded a little bit better for the kind of boutique I was going for, but it's the name itself came to be by total accident.
And what is the look and feel for you of the store? What were you going for? And still, if it has changed, what, at
It
all?
has not changed. It's matured a little bit because it started just behind Santa Clara University when I
Yeah.
was 21. So, I mean, back then it was like the shorter, the tighter the dresses, the
Young and
young,
free.
and yeah. And now it's definitely still contemporary, fun, lots of color, bright colors all the time. I
Yes.
need color to be a part of my world. Light and bright has to be just in my mix, in my daily mix all the time. So the store is definitely a reflection of that. I would say also quintessentially Californian is how I would
Mhm.
describe it. A lot of people who come for the first time, they say, "Oh, this reminds me of a place that could be in Southern California." You know, you
Yes.
think of the beach and you think of like all the sun, and again, the just the bright colors is part of the space. And I think that vibe has stuck from day one of what the store vibe is for sure.
All right. Now, can you tell us now more on the business side? How did you start in terms of, did you go get a loan? Did you do your bookkeeping? How was that, the business side?
Well, back in 2007, it was easier
Hmm.
to get started, to get going in any kind of small business, I think. I think now it's funding options are a little bit different and it's a lot harder to enter. But no, back then I had savings and the business plan for the store, the first store, which was in Santa Clara, it's a smaller, less risk involved with it. It was
Yes.
actually my capstone project that I'd worked on senior year of college, and it was how to implement a business that didn't exist yet for the campus students, something that could cater to students that just
Yes.
wasn't a part of the campus life yet, and there wasn't a single clothing store or boutique or anything for I mean any kind of fashion, not really. So it just kind of
You jump right in it. You're
yeah.
like, Evie's here.
Yeah, and
We
it
need a
all
store.
materialized so I don't want to say effortlessly because then that sounds like I didn't work. I put a lot of work
Yeah.
into it, but the way the things came together, it just kind of solidified how meant to be that path was even
Hmm.
back then for me. So
Yes.
I've kind of held on to that whenever the things work out in a certain way, and you're doing the work, and the universe is doing its work along with you. It's how some things are the
Yeah.
right thing.
And who were the people that supported you along this journey in the beginning?
My mom, who you've met, and
Yes.
she's lovely.
Very lovely.
She will support us in anything. I mean, we've had some like wild ideas, and she's also the crafty one
And
who
who's
would.
we?
My sister and I,
Okay, so
yeah.
it's your
So
sister. Okay.
yeah. Well, maybe I'll just refer to me. She's so supportive.
Yes.
Anything I come up with, she's like, well, let's just try and see if that works. That's just her attitude towards everything my whole life. Any
As long as you went
creative,
to
as
school,
long
she
as I went to
supported
school
you
first. Yeah, exactly. Um,
with every extra thing.
exactly. And my friends, also you've met, you got to meet
Yes.
some of my closest childhood friends, and we just close relationships for the last like 25 some yeah just 20 25 years, and
Yeah.
they have been my rock. They are even still, as things changed
Yeah.
so much in the last year and
Yeah.
all the struggles that kind of became new again.
Yeah.
Having the really strong friendship network was really kind of my saving grace to get through everything, every
Yeah.
step of the way.
All right. And in the beginning, I guess, did you go through any mental struggles? I know a lot of business owners do go through them. But what were yours, if you can pinpoint some, even if they're
Yeah,
the normal?
yeah, I mean, I think they're normal. They've evolved a little bit over the years. I would say in the beginning, the mental struggles were just feeling so insecure to take on a challenge and to take on something new. And what if I do this wrong? What if I make a mistake? I'm not doing anything right.
Yeah.
Just a lot of self doubt in the beginning. And I would actually say some of that might have played into, I mean, since we're celebrating Black History Month
Yes.
this month, and I sometimes take like a personal look at myself when I think of, back 13 years ago, I aspired to something, but didn't see a lot of role models who look like me in that role or taking those risks or, running these types of businesses.
Yeah.
Now, thankfully, social media has changed a lot, and
Yes.
it's nice to finally see representation across the board and to help, I think, younger girls who look like me, who look like I did when I was 21, feel like there's someone I see who's done this, and maybe it's not such a big, you know, like something totally out of my reach. It is actually attainable
Yeah.
because now that I've seen before, people come before who can kind of set, the
Help
path.
pave the way,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
All right, awesome.
Mhm.
And what made you change locations from the Santa Clara location to now the Willow Glen here, which is here now?
Santa Clara was a great place to have gotten started. And for a while, I was juggling the two stores. I grew up here, and
Yes.
this was just kind of a natural transition, the natural evolution for the shop. Um, it's again so much a part of me. This business is this store is in a lot of ways, and I think at some point it was kind of it was hard to grow in a college town
Yeah.
because you figure every 4 years that they graduate, so they go off to, and then you have to start all over again. So
Yeah.
that in its own way limits the ability to grow. And it just Willow Glen was ripe for some new cool stuff to come along. When we used to walk down the street here, back
Yeah.
in like I don't know 2001, 2002, there wasn't a lot going on, so it was nice to see it come to what we see now with the table and all these cool restaurants that just weren't here
Yeah. I
before, and
mean,
to be a part of that.
yeah, exactly. And I mean, people walk down and they just stop after, I mean, after eating and they just
Hmm.
stop and start shopping here,
Yeah.
right? So it's kind of like or
Yeah,
they
brunch after brunch.
after brunch here with the restaurants around.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, that's pretty cool. I mean,
Bill's brunch.
that you definitely, I feel like you picked the right location.
Mm.
It does feel like a good vibe, and
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
think
this has been a totally blessed location. I mean, everything from our neighbors, everyone upstairs in the offices are
yeah,
great. It's again, like you said, a great vibe
you
here.
felt right at home.
Hmm.
All right.
Absolutely.
Okay, nice. So I know some of your customers followed you here,
Hmm.
right, from the other location,
Hmm.
but I know some of your employees did, right?
Hmm.
I don't know all of them, but can you tell me what that means to you? Because to me, that sounds like a type of community you have established, a relationship. So can you tell me a little more about that?
Sure. About the employees
The
or
bond and just the bond that you've created, or that allowed them to come over here and be like, you know what, I want to stick with EB.
I think it's maybe luck. I mean, I lucked out and had some really, really great people. One of whom she was here for 9 years. Another one is still here for, I think, going on 6, and another for 7.
Mm,
It's just lucky to have that many people who we count on each other. There's a lot of back and forth. I try to be as good as I could in our entire relationship to them as a leader, an employer. And I think that went a long way for a lot of people who felt like they wanted to be part of something that felt like it was structured well and with like kind people
yeah,
around.
I think
Yeah.
so. I think that's you touched all the right places. Okay, so now I'm going to ask you, all these years that you had it, 13 and a half years, what are some things that have worked for you that you think have helped your business grow? Whether it's financially, I do want you to talk about it financially, growing your social media, your customers, the walk-ins. Can you give us?
Social media for sure. I mean, we were just trying to run a small business when Instagram came along and
Yeah,
changed the way everything is done, and it expanded the reach, how to get to all these new people who never came down to Lincoln Avenue to shop. They were just, they never would have heard about the store if it wasn't for the ability to reach and kind of branch out
yeah,
using social media. I would probably say, let's see, what else has helped? Um, Maintaining a closeness with the customer base, I think, is just one key point and an important part to building any business.
yes,
No matter how much it scales, as much as possible, when you can make someone walk in and feel like, oh, I was remembered, they
hmm,
remembered something about me, they remembered the event that I wore that dress to, and I shared the photo, and it was just it feels a little bit more than being a customer, but being kind of a part of something where you matter,
yes,
even if it's just something like small, like picking up some jewelry for someone you care about. It just like feeling like you mattered to the person in the store. I think goes a long way for it goes a long way for me. So
I
I just
agree.
approach relating to customers the same way.
All right,
Yeah.
so you're saying that social media has been big on your
Huge.
store, and
Yeah.
okay, so big time. Okay, and of course relationships.
Hmm.
All right, so now I want to dive into a little fun, and I actually want to talk to you. How is the process in selecting your clothing and accessories? What do you look for? How does it go? Kind of give us a little rundown on it.
So I'm actually kind of like a numbers junkie. It's not just about buy clothes, sell clothes, hang
Yeah.
it up, in, out, that sort of thing. I start planning the season, I think, like 3 or 4 months in advance. And at that point, I've not looked at a single fabric, I haven't looked at one single style. I'm just looking at the numbers, how the last quarter went,
Yes.
how what our ROI is looking like for the next one before I even think about the clothing. When I start going into the buying, which is why I thank goodness for that, business degree that I
Yes.
looked
So
into.
step one is looking into the numbers.
Yeah.
Okay. And then step two?
Step one is the numbers. Spend a little bit of time with the numbers. It is not just about, you know, bringing in a bunch of stuff, moving out a bunch of stuff. There's so much strategy that does actually going to buying.
Yeah.
And buying is not shopping. That was a hard lesson to learn in the beginning. It's not shopping for me. It's
Yeah.
thinking ahead of who is first of all, narrowing down my demographic, thinking what's important to them, what's coming up for them, what events matter to them, and what might they wear to those, events, or what are their interests for
Yeah.
that season, and then figuring everything out from there. So it's kind of it can be a little bit mathematical and a little
Yes.
robotic on the
Yeah.
back end.
Yes.
And then you go and look at the next season, which is about 2 months in advance.
All right. So let's go back. So step one is looking at the numbers. Number
Mhm.
two is actually looking at what months are coming ahead and seeing what's coming up for your ideal customer.
Coming up with a strategy.
Your strategy
first,
for
yeah,
that.
like numbers first, strategy second.
And then third is
Actually
Actually
go
going
and
in.
look at what's available.
Yes.
What is the price point that fits?
yes.
What is sometimes brand, not so much, but what is a brand that they love and would be nice for them to get locally? I'll add that into the inventory mix sometimes if there's just something that we don't have, but I know people would love to see come, to their neighborhood. And then step 4 is hope you did it right.
Which I think you have. I think you are. Yes.
Sometimes there are definitely misses. Even this many years in, there are times where I'm like, huh.
Okay. Oops. Next step. No.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's. I mean, at least you learn, right?
Exactly.
You have that, and
Yeah, there are fewer mistakes the longer you do it, but they still happen, and you just have to say, well.
all right, and that's it, and move on,
80-20.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And how do you know what's trending next season? I mean, do you do your research in do you go and look at the magazines, or I mean, what do you do?
Now, yeah, I'll look at catalogs, and the nice thing is a lot of the manufacturers, they get their trends 6 months in advance. So
Okay.
if there's one you've built a really good relationship with, you can kind of like back and forth about what is going to actually stick from last year, what is going to change completely, which direction to go in, what's trending. So they know pre, travel restrictions related to pandemic. I would actually go to my sister lives in Paris, so I would go there, and that's almost 6 to 9 months ahead of time for trend forecasting.
Yes.
And it all just kind of like within reason. Some of the trends just don't take because they're not realistic, but
Yeah.
it kind of winds down to all the different levels of the retail channels, and someone can show it on a runway, sometimes maybe even a year ago, and eventually the right ones will stick and start getting produced by the manufacturers that eventually feed into the boutique level
And your
shoppers,
your
buyers.
clients, right?
Exactly.
Okay, that's cool. Now, I'm going to have to ask you a little, we're going to go a little deep right now.
Sure.
And so I want to ask you, how have you been able to deal with anxiety and depression all throughout the years of owning this beautiful boutique, being a young woman, and just after that, COVID? I mean, how do you deal with that?
Yeah, no one could have seen the COVID one coming, but before that, I've kind of touched on it a little bit. My need to have a light and bright store. Um, it's something that I've managed. I personally, my decision to manage my depression without medication was totally personal. It's not something that works for everyone.
Yes.
It requires a ton of input every single day just to make sure you're meeting all the marks to help to keep it in check. And also, it depends on the type of the depression.
Yes.
But that this place needs to be filled with light energy for me in order to even function in this space. That's part of why I say it's light and bright and has to be cheerful and colorful. Those are some of the things that I use to apply some of my own natural therapies using my environment to
Environment.
help that. Another part of it, I would say, is close friendships. And not every, you can't say it to everyone, of course. It's just, or maybe some people can. I couldn't
Yes.
share it with everyone what I was just, the mental load of even kind of mundane everyday things. But having two, maybe even one or two people who know and can connect with you that deeply on some really really hard days is a really really key helpful part in just keeping things, because anything can set you off in
Yes.
oh my gosh, in small business and retail, in entrepreneurship, in
Personal life.
personal, like
Yes.
anything can, you just don't know which thing
Yeah.
and which day. But and it's not, I mean, working for yourself, it's not the easiest job necessarily. So it's really really important, I would say, to keep um, really good, solid, strong people around who, and those people can be professional. Their role for helping you
Yes.
manage can be in a professional capacity, but it's super key, I think, to make sure there's a good, strong human support network on top of, like I said, the environment thing, on top
Yes.
of lifestyle things that I've also implemented over the years.
What type of lifestyle things?
Staying active for me is super helpful. I
Yeah.
do feel the difference when I'm not releasing as many endorphins as I need to just kind of like coast through on a normal level. That's been kind of a big one for, I totally feel the difference if I just need to get outside, get fresh air, go for
Yeah.
a quick run.
Yes.
Or sometimes, I mean, I ran track, so running is my thing. Sometimes it's just a walk in the garden or, well, plants of late. I love my plants now that bring nature into the home.
Yes.
That's been like, I'll sit here sometimes just wiping my monstera leaves.
Yes.
That's like,
That's therapeutic.
Yeah.
It's your therapy.
I'm just like sitting there cleaning off the leaves of the dust, and in some way it does whatever it needed to do to help me that day.
Yeah, that's fine. And when did you first notice that, you were dealing with anxiety and depression?
I think probably, well, you don't, I was saying, you
Yes.
don't always know what it is. It does take some emotional maturity to identify what the emotion is, but I would say probably at 16 was when I kind of realized that like something just felt a little bit different, and it was easy for me to go lows, to have
Yes.
lows that would just linger when the outside world around me was perfectly fine and nothing had happened. But all of a sudden, and I mean, I guess that age makes sense with when hormonal changes sort of kick in. And I just would some days feel like I don't see a reason for me to be sad, and yet I can't shake it,
Yeah.
And through college, it didn't really surface much. I would say it was after opening the business that I kind of saw the ups and downs kind of, come back
Yeah.
with some frequency, and started realizing, okay, I could look into this, see why it's happening, or I could try to, when you're young, you're like, I'll just forget about it and go out.
Yeah, you have other pastimes and you can do
Yeah,
it.
exactly. But I would say 16 was like the very first time it presented itself for me to like actually think about why am I experiencing this or feeling it.
Okay. And now with COVID, has it gotten worse, or what have you seen different?
It's different. It's a different kind of um, everything right now is just emotionally chaotic.
Why is that,
Oh,
EB?
I just mean in general, the air that, you know what I mean?
Oh,
And
yeah.
around, it
COVID.
just feels, yeah, it
Mhm.
feels like you don't know what news is going to come on
Yeah.
that's going to ruin your day, especially if you have a small business. And it's just like the ups and downs. The uncertainty is definitely part of it. Worrying about, elder parents, especially those that have, that would just, this would not be good if it were to
Mhm.
happen. Um, yeah, it's a different kind of just heightened uh, I wouldn't even, yeah,
Emotion.
heightened emotions and constantly think it's more constant, I would
And you're
say
on your toes all
now,
the time, right?
all the
You
times
have
on
to.
pins and needles. You just don't know which thing is going to drop. Lately it's gotten better, I think, as we're nearing hopefully a turn in what we all just went through.
Yes.
It's gotten a little bit better, but gosh, I remember that first March
Yeah.
16th, the announcement.
Yeah.
Was it 16th or 17th? I can't remember, but I just remember and my neighbor was playing Bombs Over Baghdad. I was like, oh my gosh, poor choice of song for right
What?
now, because it just like you feel like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh,
Jumpy.
yeah, and
Jeez.
like super loud too. And I was like, okay, that's actually how I feel. Like
Yes.
it felt just,
Wow.
I mean, I don't want to say, I don't want to like over
You're not
say like,
alone though.
in some ways, I felt like my world was ending. Like
Yeah.
everything I had just worked for fell apart
Yeah.
in within the span of 1 week. That is the lowest emotional point I can even describe in
Yeah.
my adult life. It just mentally it messed with me so much, you know. And then within like 3 weeks later, you're like, oh, okay,
Mm-hmm.
let's figure this out. That wasn't the end of the world.
Yeah.
In fact, this might be the tiny little 1 week, when we thought it was going to be 1 week or
Yeah.
2 weeks, break that I need
Yeah.
to just decompress from the general rat race, of life and
The go, go,
the
go,
go, go,
go.
go of like building and working and preserving and
Yes.
so it's the emotions were very like roller coaster. Oh man.
I'm telling you, you're not alone. I'm sure we all felt
Oh,
like that. I
I've
was
talked to so many
like
people,
that.
and it's nice you don't wish it on anyone, of course, but it
No.
is nice to talk to someone and say, oh, no, you're not alone in feeling that. That was exactly what I was going through and by myself and, not able to talk to anyone hardly for some people. So,
Nice. And now I want to go into how are you doing emotionally with, oh, can you tell the audience actually what is going on as of February 15, and how are you dealing and coping with it?
yeah. So, on February 15th will be the last day as a brick and mortar in-store, in-person shopping to open to the public. Starting on the 16th, we will be a totally online only boutique. That is a result, in some parts, of recalibrating personal life, learning lessons from the last year, and also realizing that some things that are challenges could actually present, I would say, opportunities. And it just depends on you know, how you flow with it
Yes.
sometimes and sometimes how the severity of it too, but like sometimes it's for me it was just how I was able to flow with the big change, learn a bunch of stuff really really quickly and adapt to the new world in a way, I think,
Yeah.
for uh, retail and fashion and in some degrees.
What did you have to adapt on during COVID now that you learned? What did you have to learn this year?
Well, in before 2020, we didn't have a website, which I know that sounds like wild for
Yeah.
for a business that's been in business for 13 and a half years.
Yeah.
There was no, it was there, it was parked, and there was no content, no updating, no, people would purchase here and there if
Yes.
they found it, and we
Yeah.
just forgot merchandise on it sometimes, and we would just check, they would check out. But we didn't have a good website, a strong website, how to build one. That, I mean, turned out to be in its own way kind of the biggest blessing that I couldn't have imagined was just waiting for me
Yes.
at the end of 2020. And so now we're going online only because we learned that we can do it.
Yes. And that kind of brings me to the next one. How do you let go of something like your storefront in order to keep surviving? And, this will go to other business owners that may be going through the same thing.
Yeah, I think it was important at some point for me to not think of it as letting go
Yeah.
of something, but as welcoming something new and something different. And again, especially for small business owners, I know if you've been around for some time, the first step is you're afraid of taking the leap, and then you take the leap, and you find some success in it. It goes well, it goes smoothly. Things you planned, you made a few mistakes, but things worked out.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get this overwhelming fear of losing that. So
Yeah.
it takes over the fear of leaping, and it comes in this place of like, oh, but I did so well, everything went smoothly. Why would I jump if only to possibly fail again? And I think that was the second time around, because I did go through, I was open during the 2008 financial crisis. That was a different, set of emotions, but there were some similar ones
Yeah.
to this one. It was finally letting go of the idea that just because something changes, it failed. That's not the case at all, and that wasn't easy to get to that point. It was. I had to change my mindset and see the change as an opportunity to grow again and to learn something new and to continue evolving.
Yeah.
Actually, someone said this, and I didn't really understand it then, and I'm sure I'll say it wrong, but
Yeah.
the to stop evolving is actually, yeah, to completely be still and stop evolving is actually worse than the worst outcome, like the worst thing. So if like sitting with that a little bit, I was thinking, okay, I'll just start looking and thinking about this as like the next step in evolution
Yes.
for the business. The nature of the business doesn't change. We're still women's clothing. We're still our same vibe and feel, but the sales channel is just going to be something totally different moving forward. So it was just reprogramming how I was looking at it to actually accept what was had to come next.
Yeah. And do you think, or are you open to coming back and opening a brick and mortar if you see fit?
Oh, definitely. I mean, nothing's ruled out. We don't know how this year's going to end.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
nothing's set in stone.
Yes.
Nothing's ruled out. Everything is uh, kind of I'm malleable and I'm adaptable. And that was another lesson that came from last year is just learning to adapt and go with the new set of things, the new uh, climate, the new
Yeah.
set of circumstances.
Mhm. Agree. I totally agree. And I think that we shouldn't stop evolving, and it's scary.
Yeah.
It's not easy
Oh,
and
yeah.
it's hard, and um but you know what? We can do this. I mean, we've been able to adapt whether we want it or not sometimes.
Exactly. That is the reason. I mean, we exist in our condition with our technology and with things that like make up our world. It's because we have always continued to change and evolve and adapt. That is the crux to, I mean, our human existence, really, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And do you think that you have mastered the work-life balance?
No.
She's really honest. Okay.
No, I work way too much.
Yes, you
Yeah,
work too
I
much.
work way too much.
Okay. But I know
I'm
when
doing
you
better.
yes.
I'm doing
Okay.
a little better, but mastered the work-life balance? No,
No, it hasn't
definitely
been easy.
not. No.
Do you think you're maybe gotten better than maybe the first year?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Then the first year for sure. Then even I would say better than like 3 years ago.
Okay, good.
I'm much better at prioritizing again, like wellness, what works for me on a personal level, not just what's the thing I need to do
Yes.
for work. Um, I'm spending more time with friends. That was important, and that was a really big, I mean, some of it's virtual now because of
Yeah.
safety, but it's just
Yeah, COVID.
giving time, creating the time for family, friends, and things other than work. I'm like exponentially better about that. But is it always on my mind? Yes, I can't shake that. That's just something I haven't been able to,
This is
drop
your
the
yeah.
work when I'm not at work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think you're the only entrepreneur who can do that or who is not going through that, you know. Yeah. So what I wanted to ask you is as part of your learning experience, what what will you not sell in your store again?
What will I not sell again? Which
Something.
products? Um. Oh, I should have thought about this. I would say maybe, for as much as I love them
Yeah.
and we love them, women love them, shoes have been probably the hardest thing. That's one thing I think we won't sell online, actually. The weight is hard to ship. and they, for some reason, have just
Yes.
not been super sellers for us. And I mean, maybe because people are at home and wearing house shoes this year, but
We're on slippers.
yeah, and socks.
Yes, and
But
socks.
one thing that I will not sell moving forward on the online store, I think, is going to be footwear.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
Maybe swimsuits too
yeah.
for try-on
Yes.
stuff. Yeah, I would say, and those are actually some of our weaker categories
overall,
even
though,
here.
throughout the years.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Even in here, swimsuits and footwear have been the ones that just like we would just look at it and be like, but it's so cute.
Yeah. But then when we try them on, oh, I don't know.
It just didn't work for the merchandise mix for some reason.
Okay.
Yeah.
And now I'm going to flip it the other way.
Okay.
What's something that you will always carry in your store no matter what because it always sells?
Well, I'll sort of restate that as in what am I desperate to get back to selling once things get back a little bit. Dresses. Oh my goodness, I miss dresses. That was our thing for, I mean, just before shutdown. That was kind of, I think, what we were known for: special occasions and photo shoots, wedding guests, you know, anniversary travel was our dresses, and I miss the dresses so much.
I think we all miss just getting dressed up and just going to breakfast, going to wineries. I mean, or just dressing up and going on a date, whether it's a friend date, whether it's, you know, with your special other.
It's, I mean, I love, don't get me wrong, I love sweats.
Yeah.
Like, and I do love that we can sell so much loungewear because it changed it so much.
Yes.
But I cannot wait to have the long, you know, chiffon, flowy, floral dresses being like the staple and the centerpiece of our inventory again. I can't wait.
Well, I mean, spring and summer coming up, so we'll see.
Yeah, well,
with restrictions just being lifted, you know, so we'll see how it's going.
Yeah,
right?
outdoor, things that work outdoors.
Yes.
Ideally, and I think we will get back once the weather's, you know, nice again to people doing more outdoor events and things. And
yeah, agree. I know, agree. Let's not jinx it. And what advice would you give to other entrepreneurs? I mean, whether it's a man or a woman, just wanting to open their store.
Oh, where would I start? Which one?
Oh, like, go ahead, give the list. I mean, you can do pre-COVID and with COVID. I mean, you've learned so much before, you know.
Yeah, I would say even if you don't have a financial background or if you didn't study business, take some online courses, go on Reddit, just learn a little bit of the basics, fundamentals of balancing bookkeeping, balancing a budget, understanding the ROIs, ins and outs. Having financial strength in any business, no matter whether you have inventory or don't have inventory, makes all the difference in whether long term you can make a business work. And it's really easy to find a lot of stuff. I've seen like YouTube has some tutorials on just the basics. A basic balance sheet or income statement or profit and loss statement. You can build one online. That's my first bit of advice, something that I think I learned really early and it helped. It really helped to get especially past the first year. And the second would be get strong on social media. Even if you're uncomfortable, videos are good. Talk in front of the bathroom mirror until you feel like you get it right. But having a good social media presence is, especially now, going to make the difference in being able to sustain a business. And what would the third one be? Have fun. Yeah, don't forget the fun part. And it's easy to forget that when you're just thinking of the numbers, but pick something you really, really love or you sort of love and are good at, and you can learn to either become great or really, really love it. You've got to have one of the two, and I say pick fun, and in order to keep doing it and to keep wanting to do it for a long time.
I love it. Thank you. I think those are great steps and advice that you can give people, and you actually have let them where they can find, you know, information.
Yeah, I don't have any particular links, but I mean, I promise a Google search on putting together a really, really simple bookkeeping or balance sheet would turn up some really useful free stuff online without having to sign up for stuff, you know, just like get the basics down, I would say.
All right, so we're getting towards the end of the interview, and I want to dive into what is EB style, day to day, going out, whatever you want to touch.
My personal style is more or less the same as the shop style. Again, I would say quintessentially California, easygoing, good fun fabrics and colors. And as much as I love dressing up, I do love dresses, like I said over and over a few
Yes.
minutes ago. I am a jeans and t-shirt girl in my personal life. I have the same pair of jeans.
Yes.
I will buy 3 or 4 pairs of them, the
Yes.
same one, because I wear them that often. And I mean, I'm lifting stuff all day long, so they do actually get wear and tear. But if I find a fit I like, I've been known to buy a half dozen of the same pair of jeans.
And
Yes.
what is your favorite fit right now? Is it the typical mom jean?
Yeah, I'm wearing a lot of I'm wearing it right now. The rise varies depending on
Yes.
how much I'm going to be moving. Higher rise, if I'm wearing higher rise, I won't want to be too active.
Yes.
But like the mid rise mom jeans are my uniform, and a white shirt like I'm wearing right now.
No, nice and classy
Different
though.
kind of white shirt, but this would normally be a white V-neck or
Yes.
just something. I have a whole section actually in my closet of white shirts.
Oh,
The
nice.
different varieties, yeah.
Nice and classy. Good job. And then I want you to
And
tell
hats.
me. Oh yeah, she's huge on hats.
I have
guys.
so many of these hats, yeah.
Yeah, she loves the hats, and she carries them here at the store, so everybody that knows Evie knows. So, can you give me some Can you give me some styling tips on different body types? You can pick the body type. It's fine. It's just off the top of your
You
head.
pick one for me because I have.
Just do
few-
curvy.
Okay. Let's see. Any color, all colors work, I think, for everyone if they kind of know their complexion,
Yes.
what works for their complexion. For curvy, I tend to recommend actually something similar to the dress that's behind you.
Yes.
It's not quite empire waist, but it's a little bit higher up. Not a drop waist. Drop waist is the only thing that I would say might not work, just because of it slices the body like horizontally
Okay.
a little bit lower. But I think a high waist is amazing.
Okay.
Like gold. I mean, it looks so good on curvy, and I can't think of any. Maybe for him, high low
Yes.
is good. So it doesn't just feel uncomfortably short in the back, whereas the front's the right length.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even if the high low is just a little bit slight, it's always a little bit helpful to have length and have fun with
Yeah.
it again. Yeah.
I think also it's yes, style can fit a certain, what she's saying can be good for the body type, but it's also how you wear it confidently
Yeah,
too.
have
Sometimes you can
confidence
pull
in
it off.
Enjoy it. It's clothes, and just enjoy it for.
All right,
yeah.
let's see. Let me give you another 2 body types, and then
Okay.
I think we should be done.
Okay.
Tall girl.
Let's
What's the height?
see.
Tall.
Horizontal stripes are good, really good. Vertical stripes may not be quite as what
Yes.
she'd want
it's
to wear.
appealing.
Tall, I would say a good pair of jeans, also high rise,
Yes.
all that leg, show off the leg,
Mhm.
something. The one fit that might be a little bit tough to find the right fit, but once you get the right one, it's great. Rompers might be a hard
Mhm.
fit, but dresses are always
The maxi
a
dresses
good.
too, right?
Yeah, maxi dresses are great. The flood length look is in, and middies are in. So for tall, you can wear it without feeling like it's too floody or
Yeah.
like it's high waters, because that's the look right now, which is kind of nice.
So very convenient.
Mhm.
And then the last but not least, petite short girls.
Uh,
Like me, I guess.
Vertical stripes are good in that
Okay.
case. Smaller prints, no print that is too big. No print that is, I would say, bigger than maybe these 2 fingers together here. So small, about half the size of your fist. That
Okay.
kind of print is ideal, just because you don't want it to overwhelm a small frame.
Yes.
Again, show leg, why not?
Yeah.
Dresses and V-necks. So opening up the décolletage area and kind of adding people see the skin of the face.
Yes.
It just kind of goes down to the neckline and this area. Even if
Mhm.
it's just a V-neck, that's elongating, and I think I already said vertical.
Yes. Yes.
Stripes and solid colors, some people will say, but I just like prints so much that I can't recommend that. Just keeping the print small enough.
Because that's Evie's recommendation, and Evie's recommendation is small print.
Yeah.
It's okay. Okay, you love to travel. We
I
can tell
did.
from your IG account. What are some of your favorite places?
Anywhere at all that I've been or that I haven't been.
that you've been?
Marrakesh is my favorite city in the whole world. It's like there's something about it. It's like I think they call it. I don't know if that's the dream city. It's the red city also, but
Hmm.
it's like so magical there. There's I don't know what about the air, the food, the culture. It's one of the that the cities existed for like 1,000 years and longer.
Yes.
And Berber culture is I just think so beautiful. The art and design and the food, you can't beat it. So I would say for uh, Paris is a close second, just because it's close to home. But
Yes.
Marrakesh is my favorite city in the whole world.
And Paris is also where your sister is
Exactly.
residing right
Yeah.
now. So
Hmm.
I bet you love Paris because it
Yeah.
feels like home, right?
Yeah.
And what's your third choice? What's your third favorite place?
In the world, my third favorite. It's a. It's like a really, really
Close.
close uh, match. South of France,
Yes.
all of it, that whole region, and Palm Springs, which is right here in California,
Why?
give me the same vibes.
Yes.
Make me feel like I'm on vacation, even if I'm just there for. I mean, South of France is usually vacation, but it's
Yes.
when I go to Palm Springs, it feels like vacation if I'm going to work or to visit or for any reason you can imagine. So
And it's
those
close
are-
by, right?
and it's close by, yeah.
That's why.
Yeah.
So, and then south of France, why?
I don't know. There's just something about the exuberance of French culture mixed with the Mediterranean culture along the Mediterranean Sea. The weather's just right. I like hot.
Yeah.
The summers get balmy hot.
Yes.
All of it, the vibes. It's very, very. It's really relaxed. It's a place where even if you wanted to work, the Wi-Fi is so bad that you're not getting anything done. So you might as well just stay and enjoy how easy.
And the food and wine are great there.
Exactly, the food and wine, amazing. Again, a mix of like French cuisine
Yes.
and Mediterranean foods, fresh fish. I love seafood.
Mm-hmm.
All of that together makes that one of my definitely top. Yeah, it's
3-4.
yeah,
Top 3-4.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And what is next for Evie? What
Evie
is next?
personally,
Evie personally, Evie business wise.
With the exception of learning how to run an e-commerce business, I'm just keeping the prospects open for life to happen for once, which is like a place that I've never really mentally been in. I'm just an open book for what comes next, and I'm kind of ready to go with the flow for.
And you're moving to a wonderful place, aren't you?
Yeah. So again, just to really kind of take things a little easy. Last year was hard. It'll be nice to just get a little peace and feel like things are a little bit light.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. All right, Evie. So you've made it to the end of the interview, and towards the end,
ending, actually.
Of course,
Yeah.
no. And towards the end, we have a game. Well, I have a game for Evie. It's just a game for us to all just to get to know Evie on just a quick, maybe 1 minute or 2 minutes. So I'm going to ask you questions, and you can answer me, and you can tell me your answer. You can tell me your answer.
Oh, fun. Okay.
All right. First question: what is your favorite outfit to wear? Though I think you already answered it.
Yeah, that is my favorite.
Dress?
Jeans. Well, jeans
okay.
and a white shirt.
Jeans and a white shirt. Okay,
yeah,
so that beat the dress. Okay, so jeans and a white shirt.
It just beat the dress
Okay.
for every single day wear.
Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
for me personally, oh man, I just want a good white shirt and a pair of comfy, nice jeans.
All right,
Yeah.
awesome. And then, what is your favorite movie?
Oh my gosh, I haven't had to think about that in so long. I have to say, I think it might be Casino. That's the
Okay.
one I've seen probably 100 times, and I can still watch it as if it's new. I also love Sharon Stone.
Okay.
Love.
Yeah, she's a great actress.
Love her. Yeah.
Yes. All right. And what food can you not live without?
Seafood.
Seafood.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I have to have fresh fish, good fish. Yeah.
Not your mom's cooking?
Well, she makes fish. That's all she cooks. She actually, so
Just
she doesn't
kidding.
eat anything but any meat or chicken anymore. So it's
Okay.
only
So
fish.
seafood.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
only seafood now. So
So it includes
my
mom's cooking.
Yeah, it does
Okay, hey
include-
mom. Awesome. And have you ever been to a fashion show? I know you go to Paris a lot. So
A
Have you?
fashion show. Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
can you elaborate on that? Oh, give us
It's
details.
well, it's over in like 30 seconds. You think it's this whole thing, and you've got like a half day or half evening there,
And
but
where?
you get in Paris.
Okay.
You kind of get, I mean, like, herded to the seats. You
Yeah.
sit really, really closely, tightly to. That's why they canceled all of them, in
Be-
February because it
Yeah,
was so
COVID.
close. Yeah, and then they're not. It's slowed down. The videos are slowed down, so what you're seeing is, but in real life, it's like,
It's really quick and
yeah,
it's
they're
over in a blink of an eye.
exactly. Yeah, so that's probably those are the only places I've been where it's just different from how I imagined it, but it's still fun.
And which was your first? What was your first fashion show?
Oh, I can't remember now. I want to say for a designer, Rocha
Okay.
might have been the first one I saw in person.
All right.
Yeah.
Awesome. And what type of music do you like?
Uh, I like everything, but
Mhm.
I'm particularly fond of Nigerian music these days. I mean, it's Afrobeats is like making a big scene.
Yes.
It's you can hear it on the radio
Yeah.
now, so it's easy. Tiwa Savage is my current favorite, and Techno is another. That's his name. It's
Yes.
yeah, another favorite. But yeah, I've been listening to a ton of Nigerian music lately.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Culture is always nice.
Yeah, it's nice to feel, it's been a long time since I've been there. It's nice to feel some of that day to day and just
Get a good vibe, a
doing
good
dishes,
happiness.
doing laundry. Yeah,
Yes.
listen to it. Mm-hmm.
Nice. And if you had to pick, would you pick between the two? Which one would you pick? Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Coffee is
Yeah,
something.
without a doubt.
Okay. Wine or champagne?
Champagne.
Champagne's your favorite. I knew that one. Loungewear or dressing up?
Dressing up.
Okay, dressing up is
Even though
definitely
I
things.
said over and over I like jeans and a shirt, I would pick dressing up for more days out of the year if I had to at this point, especially.
Yeah,
Yeah.
agree. And do you have any famous friends? Name drop.
Well, if I don't say their name and they see this, they're going to be like, you don't think I'm famous?
Yeah.
Mandy, at Mandy on Instagram. She's my
Yes.
most famous friend.
Yes.
I feel like it's there, but I'm going to remember as soon as this is over.
Yeah.
I'm sure of it. But they're all famous. All of my friends are.
Yes, no, they're all awesome. And I know you've had help recently from Randy Zuckerberg, right?
Oh, yes. She is wonderful and just one of the people who really she speaks to you in a way where you feel like you can do anything. Like, I honestly live off Randy's energy. It's so positive, it's so kind, but it's also so like sharp and pragmatic in its own way. She's someone who just listening to her talk. She does a great podcast, by the way, and just listening to her talk, and you feel like you can do anything. It's wonderful, and she's such a great person.
So she's not only smart, but she actually helps you, and not only personally, but in the podcast, she gives you motivation to whatever.
Yeah, she does a lot of different interviews and covers a ton of different topics, things that are relevant. It's not just business stuff. It's home and heart stuff, like all parts of your life she talks about, and it's just such a treat to listen to her.
Nice. And do you have a favorite inspirational quote that you live by or that you love?
I think I'm going to go back to the one that I said. I don't know if it's a favorite, but it's one that it's guiding me right now.
Yeah.
Like, you must continue to evolve. Failure to evolve is actually the worst thing. Well, I think the way he quoted it is worse. Failure to evolve is worse than death, and just death of like soul and character and personality, if anything.
Yeah, because you waste it, right?
Yeah, that's one that's like I said, is kind of guiding me right now. So I'll use that one.
I think I like that one too.
Yeah.
All right. If someone wrote a biography about you, what would the title be?
Have fun while you're at it.
Have fun. Well, it's fine. Have fun while you're at it will be the title of your new biography. Thank you so much, Evie. I love it. Don't worry. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's not perfect. I like it. I think it does summarize you.
Oh my gosh. I don't even know. I don't know what it would be. I can't think of have fun while you're at it.
Yeah. Have fun while you're at it. I like it. Well, thank you, Evie, so much for joining me. Thank you for, allowing us to kind of pick your brain.
Yeah,
And
thank you. This was so nice.
do you? I know you want to give a shout out to some of your friends, your fellow entrepreneurs. So here's your chance.
Well, so I don't wear makeup. I barely managed to pull this off, and I hope it looks at least okay in the light. But I'm wearing an eyebrow. I'm sorry, yeah, the brows, eyeshadow, and contour and blush by Shades by Shan. Shanberries. She was the first person who got me out of my shell to do one of these types of interviews.
Yes.
She was interviewing small businesses and how they were navigating through the COVID lockdown. And so I was like, I'm just going to go on the website and see what she does. I didn't even know anything at the time. And I bought 3 makeup things.
Yeah.
And I am bad with makeup, like
Yes.
so bad. And it's the only one that I've really actually consistently used for, more dramatic color. Because the chemicals are not something that's like, scary and like way out there.
So that's something that you like, the fact that it's
the
chemical.
ingredients were. I actually used it for Halloween makeup because when I read all the other chemicals in Halloween makeup, I was like, no, I just need to stick with something that has friendly to your skin, friendly products in it. So
and you like it.
I love it. Yeah, I'm wearing Shades by Shan. The IG is Shades by Shan, and her Shan is Shanberries, and she is lovely.
We will definitely put that in the description just in case you guys want to check her out. And can you just tell everybody where to find you, your website and your IG account? And we will also put that in the description down below. So
sure. So the website is iloveibiss.com. That's iloveIbiss.com. And the store is IBISS. That's our Instagram also, just the 5 letters. And if you want to see some of Morocco, my Instagram is IBI@EB.
All right. Well, Evie, thank you. And if you like this interview, there will be more coming. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. You can like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you till next time.